Everyone, let's go ahead and take a look at my new truck, a 2024 Ford Ranger XL STX package. Now, talking through price real quick on this one's stickered at about $38,455, with those only two options being the four-wheel drive and the trailer tow package. I got about 20% off of this vehicle and ended up paying about $31,250 for it, which is a great deal for a truck in today's market, in my opinion. Taking a look at the front end here, nice and kind of beefy looking to it. I really like how they redesigned this generation of the Ranger. Looks a lot more, I don't know, masculine, kind of chunky, especially up front. Kind of see these bulged out fender flares right here. Some nice lines on the hood. I actually really like this STX grille. Not sure if it's totally showing up here. I really like kind of the notches to it. Typical STX looking grille. I always think that they're one of the better looking grills on the trucks. Have a massive Ford logo up front. With the STX package, which all 2024 and 2025 XLs get, you get all this is painted, which is a nice touch. We do get fog lights. These are halogen. There's some easy conversion kits to LEDs with those, but they are halogen. Up here we have our kind of C-clamp looking headlights. These are reflector LEDs, as you can see. Do have halogen turn signals right there, and then we do have this LED running light as well. Looks really nice. Take a step back. Even on this base XL STX, which only has two options actually, it has the tow package with the receiver in the back. I'll show that in just a second, as well as four-wheel drive. So pretty basic, but even on this one we get these nice looking Goodyear Wrangler Territory AT tires. These are a 255/70 R17, so about a 31-inch tire, but we even have some sidewall protection. We have these aluminum painted wheels. They're pretty classy looking, nothing offensive, easy to clean. So yeah, pretty nice on that front. One other interesting part here, as you can see right here, we actually do have functional air curtains right there, which is a nice touch. Going around the side, we have our STX badge. On this trim, we get quite a bit of black plastic, so the fender arches, badging, I think the badging on all of them actually, outside of maybe the Raptor, is black. The black, just plastic mirror caps, door handles, kind of that back piece right there. But yeah, it's a good looking truck. Taking a step back to get a full side profile. Definitely does sit kind of forward facing there. Come around to the side. Have this nice angle right here. While I'm here, I'll talk about payload and towing. So this one, as equipped, has a payload of $1,699, which is really high. And then a towing rating of 7,500. From the back, we have our four-wheel drive emblem right there. All halogen bulbs in the back here. So we have our brake light, turn signal, and reverse light. Might upgrade those, just the bulbs. And down here we have our actual trailer tow hitch, as well as our 7-pin and 4-pin connectors. These, strangely enough, so these license plate lights are LED, which is an interesting touch. I feel like on most of their vehicles, that's an initial thing that they actually cost cut on and make it just halogens on, even if these are LEDs. So interesting touch. Just have a fixed glass rear, and this is there's no tint at all. It's very much just a fishbowl. Only modification that I've done so far is a Line X bed liner. We did a great job on it. All of these also come with, as you saw, the soft opening tailgate. So they have a strut right there that achieves that, as well as a little spring to, when you come back up, it makes it nice and easy. This has the 5-foot bed, as all of them do in North America. And coming around to the side in the dark, this one's obviously painted in this Oxford white, so work truck white essentially, but looks pretty good. And with that, let's take a look under the hood. And under the hood, we do get a nice liner on this, and it's actually pretty quiet. You don't hear a ton of engine noise, just a little bit of turbo when you get on it, and then, you know, classic, a little bit of that graininess of a classic 4-cylinder. Under the hood on this one, and on all XL STXs, we get a 2.3 liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder. In this application, putting out 270 horsepower and 310 foot-pounds of torque. Now, for 2025, they did actually change this from this older style one to the MPC, one that's been in the Mustang for, you know, the last couple, or I guess since 2024, which has a dual, both port and direct injection. I haven't seen any power differences on that. Maybe they just haven't released it yet. This is the older one right here with those older power figures. The other thing I noticed is fuel economy on this is different than the 2025. So on this one, it's rated at 20 city, 24 highway. In my 300 miles of driving so far, I've been getting around 20, 21, so break in and around city a decent amount, so decent. On 2025s, I've noticed that it's actually rated at 19 city, 26 highway, but it has the same combined. So not totally sure what's going on with that, or if the power figures will change, but on this one, it's kind of the older style one. Now, checking out the rear seats. Now, this is sitting behind myself. I am 6'4", so it will be a little bit of a squeeze, but most vehicles are outside of like full-size trucks. Let's first start by looking at this door panel here. So decently large. It's not huge. You can fit like a water bottle, but like, you know, just the plastic ones, not like the actual metal ones, unless they're pretty skinny. Coming up here, this is all just very black, by the way, but we do have some kind of cool design pattern right here. This is soft touch, where you'll actually rest your arms, which is a nice touch on just a basic XL STX truck. We do have the mirror. It is not auto up or down. And then we have our actual handle to open behind there, which I've always liked. Up here, if you want to rest your arm here, this is pretty hard touch. Now, looking at the back seat here, we do have the same premium cloth that's in the XLT actually. It's a pretty nice cloth seat. It has a nice kind of texture to it. It's not the most premium feeling, but it does feel pretty rugged and easy to clean, which is a plus for you know, a cloth seat. And then under here, let's put my GoPro down. So we do have two options here. We can lift this seat up. It will lock in place up like that if you want to put any kind of bigger items down here, or you also have a little bit of under seat storage, as you can see there. Nothing too crazy really, but a little bit of space if you want to put some tools or a med pack or something like that. Lifting this up, close this down. We also have, if you reach over this side, we also have the ability to put this down. Now you can take out the headrest, so this will lay almost completely flat. And then behind here, you can see we have our jack, and you could put some other tools or other stuff of that sort back here. Putting that back up. Let's go ahead and hop in. Now, sitting behind myself, again, at 6'4", it's pretty tight. They do have a nice kind of carve out here for shorter passengers. My wife, who is 5'4" or so, did fit back here just fine. So yeah, it's pretty usable for a mid-size truck, and one of the bigger ones actually in the segment. Over here, since this is only the XL STX, all we have is a 12-volt, nothing crazy. No rear seat vents or anything like that. Mat pocket on one side, not two, just on that side. Interesting omission. But one really cool thing that we have here is we do have rear armrest as well as cup holders here, which you don't even get in like the 4-door Bronco unless you get the leather package. So on a very basic truck, this is a really nice touch to have. We also have kind of our grab handles here, along with a hook to hang any kind of laundry items that you might want. And with that being said, let's head up to the front seats. Now, starting off with the door panel here, it is the same as the back in terms of materials. Hard touch up here. This is a soft touch, just a sea of black again. And then we have this nice texture. Same situation with the lower door pocket. Here we have all of our controls. We do have front auto down and up. The rear, as mentioned earlier, are just regular up and down. We have our mirror, or our window lock, and we have our mirror power adjustability, as well as our lock. Taking a quick look at this before we hop in, we do have our light controls. We do get fog lights on this, those halogens, as well as the dimmer for our front, for sorry, this display right here. Excuse the floor mat situation, which is just an Amazon package right now. I am getting floor mats in the mail. They should be here today or tomorrow. Seats are same in the front. They are kind of your typical forward, back, up and down, recline and come back up, as well as lumbar for the driver's side. This one has this vinyl flooring, which comes standard on these XL STXs. You can pay like $130 for a carpet, but I actually like it with the vinyl. Makes it a little bit more easy to clean and rugged. Let's hop on in. Shutting the door, it has a nice thunk to it. Now in this XL STX, we don't get a leather wrap steering wheel or anything like that. We get this polyurethane material. It's a little on the rougher side. It's not super nice to touch, but it is kind of nice to kind of bang along to the music and just not really care about because it's not nice leather, anything like that. Kind of looking at the side here, just this overall design. It's a lot of black plastic. This is not the kind of high gloss, which I actually like, but it doesn't look quite as nice, of course, even when clean. We do have this kind of golf ball material going across this entire dash. All of it is hard touch, as to be expected. We do have this painted trim. Almost looks like cactus gray coloring. Not sure if that's catching it on camera, but a nice kind of breakup of this very sea of black in here. We do have quite a few good storage solutions. So we have this shelf right here, which you could put a couple iPhones in. We do have our glove box right here, which is a nice size. Not lined with felt or damped or anything like that. We do also have this center armrest, which is super cushy. One of the most cushy armrests I've ever felt, actually. It's good width. For 2024, Ford redesigned the Ranger and made it a couple inches wider. And you can kind of feel that in this area right here. We have our center console, which again, it's a pretty good size. We have a 12 volt in there. Coming down for other storage solutions, we have this where we can put a phone right here, as well as this spot right here, which is about perfect for a phone. This one does not have wireless charging like the XLT does. We have our USB-C and A, and then another smaller storage shelf right there. So good storage solutions, not insanely good. I know the Tacoma has, I think, a little bit better in this department, but this one is relatively well equipped as well. Coming up through some of the other stuff here, we have our rear view mirror. This one's just manual dimming. We have a sunglass holder, and we have our visors, which do not have a mirror or lighting or anything like that. They are just to block out the sun. Coming to our wheel again, we have some controls here. We do get cruise control as standard, no adaptive, but we do get lane keep assist. We have our volume up and down, our sync speak to button, our hang up our phone, and then our controls for this digital dash right here. We also have a couple stalks here. We have our turn signal stalk as well as our high beams on the left. And on the right, we have our windshield wiper stalks. Now, starting the car, I haven't done this in a while. We have a physical key. Let's go ahead, pop it in, start it up. We can see our animation there. Now going through the screen, we have an 8-inch digital dash right here, and then on the left we have our temperature, and then on the right we have our fuel gauge. This is relatively customizable. You can kind of take that off if you want to just have this see your mile per hour. I also added the 2 gauges on the left and right, which is going to be your RPMs and then also your oil temperature. Switching to this, going through this real quick, we can set up our own My View, which consists of, either this trip and fuel, where we get our different trips, our fuel economy, auto stop start, now playing, and seatbelts. We have our off-road, which is going to be our off-road status, our vehicle gauges, and engine information. And our off-road status is kind of cool. We actually get our little where our drive line is selected, as well as pitch, roll, all that good stuff. We also have our towing screen where we can actually set up our trailer light status and towing status. And then we have audio, phone, settings, and vehicle maintenance. So pretty simple screen right there. It's not of the highest resolution. It's a little grainy. The colors aren't perfect on it, but it's perfectly adequate and gets the job done just fine for a basic truck. Coming to the sensor screen right here, we have where we have our actual CarPlay right there. It just takes up this chunk. This is a 10-inch screen, maybe like 10.1 inches. It's actually not super big because this is always taken up with these controls right here. So we do have some actual physical controls down here, and then we kind of have the same redundancy up here. So like, you know, this is just a, if I, you know, turn this, it also pops up there. This is just a manual climate control with our temperature on the left, our fan speed on the right, and then our audio control here in the very middle, along with, you know, some of these presets. If we actually want to change like zones of where we're putting the air, we have to click there, and then it will actually show up right here. We also have these as quick statuses, so your trailer, your music, your phone, and your radio. Up here on the top, these are kind of the two other buttons you're going to use. This is going to pull down your kind of quick settings here to go to any of these items. We have our fun little sketch where you can just draw on here. It's not super usable, but you know, it's fun. We also have where we can record feedback, our owner's manual, and some other quick stuff like that. If we click on the little vehicle icon up there, we get our controls such as auto hold, and then all of our settings. In our driver assistance, we can see that we have our auto hold, lane keeping system, pre-collision assist, rear view camera delay, and driver alert. So nothing crazy there, pretty basic. We do get auto software updates as well, or over-the-air software updates. Coming down below, we have our transmission selector for that 10-speed automatic. This has switched to the 10R60 in 2024. It's much better than the older 10R80 on these Rangers, which everyone complained about. So super excited to see that they switched to that. We have a kind of our manual mode here on the side. We have our electronic parking brake. And then we have our auto stop start defeat, our modes, and then our traction control off, as well as our driveline selector. So we have our 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. Speaking of those modes, let's take a peek at what ones we have. So we have normal, eco, sport, tow haul, slippery, and back to normal. So those are all the modes that we have. One interesting omission that I found is that the passenger side does have this grab handle right there, but you don't get that on this side, which is very interesting. And so you gotta, I guess, use the wheel for it. All right, thanks everyone for watching this first look at this 2024 Ford Ranger that I recently purchased. There will be plenty more of content coming on this vehicle, of, you know, upgrades and potentially some light off-road adventures, so stay tuned. Please like and subscribe. Have a great day, everyone.